is the agreement of Lysos, root, and detector. This figure shows the setup of these mods. From the literature, interactance is considered is the best mod for evaluating the internal quality of root. So in this study, interactants were chosen for conjunction optical system. And this is the reason I would choose a detector, because recently some commercial multispectral sensors are available on the market, and they are different in spectral range, number of waveband, and the rise. And this table shows the main features of potential multispectral sensor. Based on this table, IS7265S was chosen a detector in this study because it has a wide spectral range from visible to near infrared, and it's a low-cost device. And this figure shows the spectral response of on 18 wavebands of this chipset. For lasers, we use a higher board, and for laser, two black bars with spawns bus on the top were used for interactant setup. And this is the schematic diagram of Roboso spectrometric system with interactant mode. In this study, a conventional disposable spectrometer USB2000 were used for comparison purpose. This spectrometer were not a component of our system. And this is the absorption spectra of typical sample collected by the sensor chipset and USB2000 spectrometer. From this figure, we can see that the absorption curves of sensor chipset and USB2000 are similar. Moreover, these absorption curves were also consistent with a real study. So it can conclude that the Roboso system work globally, and response of a sensor chipset were reliable. Next, I will show a way to build an optimal regression model for quantitative predicting the sweetness of apple. In this study, 80 apples were used, and they were bought at a local supermarket in Kyoto, Japan. They were chosen carefully to ensure that they didn't have any external damage, and they have a regular size and shape. After that, they were kept 1 day in a room with a temperature of 25 degrees before performing experiment. And spectral data and sweetness data of apple sample were collected at this figure. First, spectral data of apple sample were collected by robot spectrometric system. After that, the sweetness of apple sample were measured by breath acidity meter, and then they were classified into class 1 or class 2, depending on their sweetness. After collecting the data, procedure for building regression models, they follow data reprocessing, include removing earlier, moving data, splitting data into calibration data and regression data. For wideband selection, sequential forward selection algorithm were used to find some effective widebands from on 18 widebands. And for model building, BLSR and MLR were used for calibration data and using cross-validation methods to choose optimal number of latent variable or widebands. And finally, the performance of regression models were evaluated and compared by coefficient of determination and root mean error. This table shows performance of BLSR and MLR models. This model gives a good result for both calibration and regression data with a square value greater than 0.8 and root mean error value less than 0.6. From this table, we can see that the MRI model with 5 selected wideband give the best radiation performance. And this result also comparable to reverse study using commercial spectral spectrometer. Now I will present a way to build an optimal classification model for rating the sweetness of apple. For classification model building, four common algorithms were used. They are discriminant analysis, support vector machine, k-nearest, and random forest. And some 16 options were implemented for each model to find the best performance model. These 16 are presented in table 6. The performance of these models will be shown in the following slides. First, I will show the result of the best accuracy of classification model using 10-fold cross validation with 2 sets of wavebands. One set up on 18 wavebands, and the other one is with 5 selected wavebands. From this table, on models show good result with the accuracy higher than 85%, and comparing to model using on 18 waveband, the accuracy of model using selected waveband were almost improved, except the case of random forest model. This result demonstrated the effectiveness of waveband selection algorithms. And for overall comparison, the DA model with 5 selected waveband give the best accuracy of 91.3%. And for resistance, this is also similar to the case of accuracy. The precision of the models were improved when using selected wavebands. And for overall comparison, the DA model with 5 selected wavebands also give the best precision of 91.5%. And this table, I would like to show the accuracy comparison of our study with a reverse study using a simplified spectrometric system. From this table, we can see that the accuracy of DA model in our study were obviously better than those of reverse studies. And conclusion, a simple and low-cost spectrometric system with high manufacturability and reproducibility based on multispectral sensor chipset has robust and validated. For quantitative prediction of apple sweetness, the MRI models using 5 selected waveband give the best performance. And for classification of apple sweetness, the DA model using 5 selected waveband also give the best performance. With high performance in sweetness assessment and system design, the robust spectrometric system could have a significant potential for a wide variety of practical, cost-effective applications for not only for apple but also for other fruit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Thanh. And now we have a few minutes for the discussion and question. So we open for your question. First of all, I would like to raise one question for you, Thanh.
Yes.
I understand that in the world, this kind of techniques already developed to some extent, like in Belgium. Some years ago, the people in the lab of Rosa Bach Nicolai at KU11 already developed this technique. So comparing your technique with their techniques, what is the difference? You know, Rosa,
yeah.
Rosa Bach Nicolai in Belgium.
Yes. The main difference of our study and river study even in other fields is we in this study we just use a simplified system. In river study, most of them they using conventional spectrometer to collect the data, and this spectrometer is very expensive, and however, it is somehow difficult to apply in for practical application in the fields, because we spend a lot of money, and we need usually conventional spectrometer usually will bigger than simplified system. So in this study, we would like to make a simple system to use in the field. This is the main difference.
Okay, very interesting and excellent study. So because we don't have enough time, so I think we would like to stop your presentation here, and then later we will contact you for further question and answer. Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. Yeah. And then next, I would like to invite the second speaker of our conference, Risa Saknet. She is a former master student of Cantor University. She coming from Indonesia, and now she works for a Vietnamese company in Cantor City. She will share her research on her study for the master degree at Cantor University.
Thầy ơi, thầy coi tôi có share chưa vậy thầy? Em share rồi mà ta. Không cần. Được không thầy? Ở vậy quan trọng là mọi người thấy không? Quan trọng là mọi người thấy không? Em share rồi đó. Cái gì vậy? Nó quay gì vậy? Mất tín hiệu. Mình đang coi mà.
Okay.
Ở trên. Hãy bạn thoát ra này. Để thử máy của mình sẽ internet thì
Rồi được rồi.
chỉ cần làm lớn cái này là được.
Này không?
Thì mở lớn lên, lớn lên đây nè. Cái này share màn hình, share rồi đó này.
Which one?
Em nghĩa thế này. Ủa, thế nào? Cái gì? À, xin lỗi, chắc cái bên kia là thầy Lưu đó. Chưa thấy, chưa có share đó. It's okay. Rồi nó bị gì thầy?
Được đến ở đây thì nó show nhăn tính xuống được.
Không có full screen được.
Sorry, we have some technical problems. Just allow us some minutes to fix the problem.
Mình cũng thấy vậy thôi đó. Cái bên đây lớn hơn Zoom, lớn hơn chiếc iPad. Vậy cái mình cho báo cáo luôn, thầy thấy làm sao?
Em gọi tính trình thầy.
Em gọi rồi, mà không có máy.
Không có được lại, không có chuyên nghiệp gì hết.
Tôi hướng dẫn cái lòng ngọt của một cái tôi cho sau nói mà xem là cũng được. Cảm ơn em. Xuống liền. Em gửi các internet yếu á. Giống như cái vai nó nặng quá.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, this one.
You don't want this one. But it doesn't matter. It help you. It's already so hard. Okay. Okay, so please start the presentation now.
Sorry for the delay. My name is Risha Sarnes. I was an international student in Kanto University for master program in food technology, together with Dr. Tong Tian Ngoc and Professor Ling Nguyen Binh. I had the publication that I will present today with the title Effect of Lemongrass and Mint Essential Oils combined with food additive soaking solution and the quality of pangasius fillet during cold storage. So let's start today. First, let me introduce the fish. If you live in Vietnam or in Southeast Asia, you must be familiar of this fish. It is in Vietnam usually called as cacha or be called as Pangasius hippophthalmus, which is the fish that endemic to the water of Mekong Basin in Southeast Asia. And for your information, Vietnam, based on the FAO website in 2019, Vietnam is the largest exporter in, especially in farm pangasius industry. It has been exported to more than 150 countries all over the world. And pangasius has been sold in Western country in many types. It can be sold from portions, fillets, frozen fillets, or processed products such as fish ball and many others. But the most popular product that's sold in the Western market is the frozen fillet, because the fillet of pangasius fillet is very tender, and also it absence of the fishy odors. And also usually in Western supermarket, it used as the affordable substitute for cod fillet, which is cheaper. And because of that, it is rich in nutrient and have high moisture content. Of course, it become the high perishable foods. Therefore, there is a need to extend the shelf life of pangasius fillet while also maintaining the good quality attributes. And when we are talking about the extending the shelf life, there are many technologies such as low temperature storage, frozen, chilling, MAP, smoking, curing, and addition of preservative, and many others. Now let's talk about the addition of preservative. Preservative such as antimicrobial agent is one of the chemicals that added to prolong the shelf life. But the question is, it is safe? Therefore, nowadays, the trend is the research tend to more like green research or move toward the natural preservative. And the most popular natural preservative is essential oils. And essential oil has its very strong antimicrobial compounds. Now let's back to pangasius industry. In pangasius industry, frozen fillet industry, there is one process called tumbling. Tumbling is the process when the fillet soak in the food additive together, such as STPP, salt, or sorbitol, and many others, depend on the industry. The aim is to increase the yield and to maintain the texture, and sometimes also to prolong the shelf life of the products. So in this step, we are considering to add the essential oils in order to reduce the other chemical food additive usage and also hopefully to prolong the shelf life. So my objective is to assess the effect of treatment condition combined with essential oils and the self-life of Pangasius fillet. Material and methods, the raw material itself, of course, the Pangasius fillet itself. Pangasius fillet is the meat without fat, without red meat, and it comes from the Mekong Delta itself. And STPP, sodium chloride, and sorbitol, it comes from my previous research. This concentration is the best in improving the quality of such as yield, maintaining the texture, and also have the very good sensory, and also have the lowest water activity compared to other soaking concentration. Therefore, we have this concentration to combine with the mint essential oil and lemongrass essential oil. So mint and lemongrass, we have more essential oil before, but the one that have good attributes in the antimicrobial compound and also have acceptability in sensory is mint and lemongrass. And of course, to combine this oil and with the water, we need the emulsifier, which is twin 80 with concentration 0.01. So here's the experimental design. When I talk about LG, it abbreviated from the lemongrass essential oil, and also have control. I have two. The C1 is the fillet without soaking, without any treatment, and the C2 is fillet soaking only with the STPP, sodium chloride, and sorbitol, but without the essential oil. And means abbreviated as MT. Both LG and MT have concentration from 0.1 until 0.4%. Now the preparation to make the soaking solution. First, the essential oil blended with the 0.01% twin 80 for 1 minute. And then after that, combined with the soaking solution. And after that, homogenize with blender. And this soaking solution then stored in the refrigerator in order to lower the temperature to 4 ± 1 degree Celsius. And here's the procedure of the experiment. First, the fillet, we need to cut it to the same portion, to the same weight, around 250 grams. And then we soak it for 30 minutes with proportion 1.5 for water and 1 for the fish. So make sure all the solution cover the fish. And after 30 minutes, we drain it for 1 minute to remove the excess water. And after that, we pack in polystyrene tray and we add moisture absorbent and wrap in polyethylene film and then store in chilled storage. The reason why we choose to pack in polystyrene tray and store in chilled storage because we want to simulate the real condition in retail in Vietnam. It is like that. And the target, when we are talking about Okay, when we are talking about self-life of a product, it's the most important thing is the microbial change, which is a total microbial count. And also we have physiochemical change, consists of pH, total volatile base nitrogen, and peroxide value and color. And sensory change, raw fillet and cooked fillet. Raw fillet is like the selection to continue for the cooked fillet. So let's continue to the result. So microbial change, as I mentioned, is the most important thing to determine the self-life. When we are talking about the self-life, if the product reach the limit of acceptability for human consumption, which is 7 log CVU, it means it is the end of the self-life. And now let's see to the diagram. The C1 and C2, the control without the essential oil and control without soaking, it reached the limit of human consumption in the day 6. So it only safe to eat until the day before 6. And then let's take a look to the lemongrass essential oil. It took 0.2% until 0.4% of lemongrass essential oil in order to extend it to almost 7 days longer compared to the control until the end of the self-life, which is 11 days. And then we look at the main essential oil. It also can increase until the end of the shelf life, but it needs 0.3% of main essential oil until 0.4% of main essential oil. So it is evident that in the soaking solution without the essential oil cannot improve the shelf life, but only improve the improve the yield and the texture, because the microorganism that commonly exists in freshwater fish in fillets is gram-negative. So the soaking solution without the essential oil cannot kill this microorganism. For the pH, there is no significant difference was observed, but one clear thing is the control without soaking solution. It has significant decrease from the day 0 until the end of storage. This is because of the breakdown of the glycogen from the muscle of the fish to lactic acid during the storage. And unconnected.
Internet connection. This one. Start. No. Oh. Trang gửi internet connection.
Cái này không có xài internet. Cái này nó dùng về nè.
Đó cái đây này. Này. Chọn nước.
Chị à?
Tính chỉ em, với xe hấp này nè.
Xe không phải cái đó. Ok.
Ở đây trên kia chưa có.
Ok.
We say that together the fish already at the end. Before thank you. Slide.
Sorry, we just had the internet problem. So let's continue. So the pH also contributed by many factors, and one of them because of the soaking solution itself. Like STPP and salt, it increased the pH of the fillet, and also the pH from the essential oil also contribute. For example, this amine essential oil, the largest concentration, has the highest pH, so it depends on the soaking solution. And when we are move to TVBN or total volatile base nitrogen, usually people use TVBN as the indicator of freshness of fish, and the limit of acceptability for fish is 35 milligram nitrogen per 100 gram muscle. And during storage, all of the TVBN is under the limit of acceptability, which means that during storage, the pangasius fish, this species, doesn't really release the nitrogen. The TVBN usually measure like TMA, DMA, ammonia, but for pangasius fish or freshwater fish, usually it release ammonia. But the one thing is that show the significant difference is the control without soaking solution. It shows significant, rapid increase from day 0 until day 11. And when we remember that C1 also has the increase of TMC, this is because of the total microorganism make the enzymatic reaction in the fillet that release the nitrogen products like of odors and some things. And move to peroxide value. Also, there is no significant difference, and also all of the treated fillet under the limit of human consumption. This is because the type of lipid in the pangasius fillet itself, most of it is saturated fatty acid, which is not vulnerable to oxidation. And for the color, there were no significant difference in lightness in all sample, and significant difference were shown for redness and yellowness. And lemongrass essential oil treated fillet were showing the higher value, which indicate yellowness as the concentration increased. This from the color is from the pigment of lemongrass itself. So it depends on the pigment of the essential oil and depend on the technology, what technology they use to make the essential oil. And move to the cooked fillet sensory evaluation. It is very important because what is the use of the long shelf life, but it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for human consumption. And so let's move to the overall score of cooked sensory. Overall is from the parameter like taste, odor, and texture. And this overall score is added together with the total with range 4 until 20. We categorize it as spoiled when it reached 4 until 7.1, which is unacceptable, and 7.2 until 20 is still acceptable. So the clear things is in the diagram is the C1, the one without soaking solution, has the reach categorized as spoiled in day 9. And much lower compared to the other that soak with other solution. This is because first, when we're talking about the taste, the salt, sorbitol, and others, it gives the taste to the fillet, which make the score increase. And for the odor, the essential oil can cover the fishy odor of the fillet, that's why it's higher. And for the texture, because of the antimicrobial compound, it kills the microorganism that can induce the softening in the texture. And also due to the STPP increase the water retainability in the fillet that makes the texture of the fish juicy and more good. And conclusion, lemongrass 0.2 until 0.4% able to extend the shelf life 7 days longer than control, and able to lower the TVBN content and improve the sensory attributes. Meanwhile, mint essential oil 0.3 until 0.4% extend the shelf life 7 days longer than control. Also improve the sensory attributes, but no effect in TVBN content. And for the shelf life and quality improvement, it is for the efficiency, it is good to apply 0.2% lemongrass essential oil. So we would like to thank for the Kanto University Improvement Project, Vietnam VN14 P6 supported by Japanese ODA loan and FLIR Network Vietnam Project. Without them, I will not have this publication. Also for your information, we also have 2 papers published from this research, as I mentioned before. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your very interesting information. So my direct question to you now, because the topic is very interesting, I would like to know about the potential commercial application of this study. Can you say something about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to consider it for the commercial, because the lemon, for example, the lemongrass, it has unique flavor that probably the market would like to try, or and also it's not most of based on the sensory. Most of them, like, they're preferring the one with the essential oil compared to the one without essential oils. So I think it's very nice to take a step on the commercialization.
And how about the cost for this kind of modification?
It's not costly because the essential oil itself only 0.2%, and it's pretty low.
Okay, thank you. So we're open for some more discussion.
I would like to ask you,
Yes.
how the essential oil impact to the oxidation of the fillet.
Oxidation. From the research, actually, it doesn't have significant difference, because the pangasius fillet itself, it's not vulnerable to oxidation, and also, yeah, because of the main fatty acid is the saturated fatty acid, so that's why the essential oil doesn't really have a significant effect to the dioxide value. Yeah,
I saw the picture in your slide.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that the yellow color changed. Okay, why
Yellow.
is changed color?
Yellow colors come from the pigment of lemongrass itself.
No, it's not happen. It's not happen.
Yeah,
Previously, because during the feeding, I think some color pigment inside the pig, they back to kind of color change, but now they change everything. So the color change is not happen normally. But when you apply the essential oil, I recognize that, I realize that kind of yellow color change very much. So why?
Yes, that color based from the essential oil with the highest concentration, which is 0.4%. So
high concentration of essential oil make the color of the fillet change.
Yeah, for lemongrass especially.
So what is the important things from the essential oil impact to the fillet?
Most important thing is the shelf life. As you see, yeah, it can increase until 7 days longer. Yeah.
Why?
Because of the antimicrobial compound that kills the gram-negative and gram-positive in the fillets. If we compare with the control without essential oils, it only reached 7 loxiview in the day 6. But the one with essential oils, it reached until the end of shelf life, until 11 days.
Look at the color. I think the oxidation happens very much.
It's not
so how to access your results. The color will change, but the cell life increase.
Yeah.
So what is the difference? What is the important thing you recognize from your results?
Maybe I don't have the picture here, but for the other fillet, the color is not that strong. So it's not because of the oxidation. Yeah, I don't have it here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So we don't have enough time, so we would like to quit the presentation, and then if you have some more questions, you can send the question directly to the organizer. So thank you very much, Lisa. And now we would like to welcome the third speaker of our conference. Mr. Nguyễn Tấn Hùng is a PhD student of our Department of Food Technology. He working on the rice variety product for beer making.
Màn hình đâu? Xem màn hình như zoom đúng không?
Từ không có gấp. Đây xem.
Show lên.
Đây chưa ta? Em vô nút này. Còn thấy bên kia kìa. Từ lại con. Cái này nó vẫn còn thấy bên kia con không chịu. Nó phải về mới đúng chứ hả? Cái PK laser thế hả? Ủa sao đây thấy vậy ở đây chưa thấy ta? Nè trên đây phun mình nè.
Sao?
Hình như nó chậm hơn. Nãy đi sao đó cái nó chậm hơn ha.
Nó phải trở lại cái slide đầu tiên. Thank you, Professor Bình. Good morning, Professor. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nguyễn Tấn Hùng. I'm from Agriculture College in Cần Thơ University. I'm a BG student. So today I would like to share with you some our result about information make man and beer from rice variety in Vietnam. Which our topic study on using Mekong Delta rice variety for beer making. The first one is I want to show introduction. In last year, Vietnam exported more than 6 million tons with more than 3 billion USD for value. So Mekong Delta is the main rice growing area of Vietnam. However, there are disadvantages for rice fry in the Mekong Delta, such as low price, average quality, and low profit for the farmers. So in this picture, we can see this is the very famous products in around the world. This is beer. So as general, beer is made from Pakleman and so some other material. And in Vietnam and other countries in the world, rice is important alternative material for brewing, such as wine and beer. In many countries, the proportion of raw material used to industry brewer vary from more than 10%, even if more than 50% in the African country. So in beer, the foam is the main factor to affect the quality beer. It is very important to make foam in beer. There are two groups protein to form form. This is the LTB with a low molecular weight about 9 kilodalton, and other protein. It is the protein Z, and with model 43 kilodalton, and we have we have a big question. In Vietnam, can we make beer? Can we make beer from rice in Vietnam? Like other cereal, to make man and beer from price in Mekong Delta. We divided to 3 steps to make man and beer. The first video we control to malting. After that, we control the machine and the fermentation to make the beer completely dry man. In this, our objective study the sustainability of several rye variety in Mekong Delta for man and beer production technology. To get the objective, we are divided our study to 3 parts. The first is the determining suitable rye variety for beer brewing technology. We are evaluation of heat resistance of protein in dry man, and evaluation of protein resistance in dry man. We choose 5 rye variety, include OM 6976, Jasmine A5, OM 5451, ER IR 50404 and OM 4900. And then after that, we choose the only one the rye variety for suitable for the Mac to man. We will control some factor to affect in the malting for rye variety chosen. We are control sucking and germination condition to quality rye man, and control temperature and time to make the best man, which is the rotting man. And after that, we will modify the material RAM, which compared to corrugate mass, we control BS and temperature of food suitable for two enzyme to root enzyme in the dry man. That is the alpha amylase and glucoamylase. And some result. The first one determine suitable variety for brewing technology. In the future, we can see we use testing heat resistance and rotate resistance in protein in from extract dry man, which the sample control is the sample control là Parleman. So in this table, we can see in five rye variety, there's so many different about the nutrition ingredient in dry man. We can see after germinated, the alpha amylase enzyme and protease enzyme and increase reactivity in dry man. So with by electrophoretic, we can see many reaction protein in the ATS based gel. There are many different from three gel. So in this gel plot, we can see the until survive the root protein with about about 14 kilonewton. So we can choose right variety IR 50404 to make man and beer later. The next step, after choose suitable variety for man and beer, we control some the factor affect to making man. We can get some result. First, fry is sucking in 24 hours, and after that, dry ran is germinated for 4 days, and we obtain green man to make rotting man. We divide it to 2 parts. The first part the green man is the temperature at 50 Celsius degree for 60 minutes. After that, green man is cooling at 40 Celsius degree for 24 hours. After that, we obtain yellow man. The other part we will to make the dry man and up. So the green man is erratic at 125 Celsius degree for 75 minutes. We obtain erratic man, and other one from green man erratic at 150 Celsius degree for 45 minutes. We obtain the other erratic man. So we can see from 2 tables. There are many different ingredient to group to yellow man and erratic man. So after in erratic man, we can see the TBC content is higher in the yellow man. In the next step, to completely machine for dry man, we can control the two main factor to affect the machine program. This is the BS and the temperature for 2 group enzyme. This is the alpha amyla and glucomela. We can obtain the optimal condition for glucoamylase. This is the BS 5.3 and temperature 52 Celsius degree. And for alpha amyla BS is the 5.6 and temperature is 70 Celsius degree. There are some different gelatinization in starch from Ryman and Ribaclay. So Congress Smart program it is not suitable for Ryman in Vietnam or in our study. So we can modify Congress Smart. So this, in the future we can see there are many different about the machine program. This is in the machine program in my study very so long for time to completely machine start in the Ryman. So after machine we we obtain the Swiss work. Swiss work is the herb with herb lump lower to obtain to get the herbs with. The next, after boiling with herb, the wheat herb is the fermentation in 15 centigrade degree for 4 or 5 days. This is the work get about 5 alcohol volume. We can see there. There are some ingredient in the work. We can see this is the degree TBC degree risk or degree of fun and reducing sugar. After 4 or 5 days, we get the green beer. So in green beer, we can see this is the resting protein about 14 kilodalton. This is some information about foam form in the beer with some robution of rye Rotterdam addition in the machine RAM. This is the feature, some feature about rye beer with the different ratio Rotterdam in addition to the machine. In conclusion, with the rye cultivar I5004, this is the man from this cultivar. We can see heat, protein heat, and protein resistance. And to make Raman soak for 24 hours, germinated as 30 centigrade degree for 4 days, and turmeric 50 centigrade degree for 60 minutes, and rye 50 centigrade degree for 24 hours. Machine RAM is modify the machine condense mat, and the main fermentation, the herb works with saccharotic subsurface as for 15 centigrade degree, rich alcohol content about 5% volume after 4 or 5 days. And the last rye beer in our study, they have each have protein heat and protein resistance. We can say I would like to say thank the Cần University of writing project. The project cost a 15. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. So from your study, we learned that we can make beer from rice of Vietnam. So we hope in near future we can enjoy the rice beer in Vietnam. Very interesting. So some questions to the speaker, please.
I have a question.
Please, yeah.
Because I'm not sure about the beer, but in Vietnam itself, the beer is from rice in Vietnam, right? So what is the difference with your research? The beer in Vietnam is already from rice in Vietnam.
Đi từ gạo không? Nói nếu từ gạo thì tại nghiên cứu đó khác với nghiên cứu em chỗ nào?
No, in Vietnam, don't have any beer from Raiman. Only beer from Bắc Laiman. So this is the first. This is the first one. This is the first the research about Raiman and beer from rice. in other country, such as Japan and India and some African country, there are some and Europe. Now there are some research about the Brahman. This is in Vietnam. This is maybe the first.
Did you compare it with the commercial beer?
Maybe. So this is only the result in the blood, not make to condition for the consumption.
Thank you. Any other question? Sonoda, you have some?
In Japan, from rice we make alcohol, but not here. Now it's rice. Rice.
Yeah, but we already have in Vietnam. We already have beer making from a certain amount of rice already, but not rice malt. That's the different point. From rice already, but from rice maybe some added value to that.
How about sabro beer?
Yeah.
Sabro beer may make made from rice. Yes. In American also. One. Yeah.
Then better to differentiate your research and the world. Nice more.
What is the new? What is the new?
Uniqueness. Your uniqueness.
What is the new finding?
Trong nghiên cứu cái gì là cái tìm cái gì là quan trọng nhất.
Rice. Yeah. Especially very popular making
in our study, we find two group protein. This is the function protein to form and stability form in beer. It's very important for quality beer. Yes.
Okay, other question, please. Okay, from the student. No. So I think we have tea break time now. So I suggest to stop for 15 minutes for tea break, and then we will come back. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. First year, night. But no, they left already. Okay. Yeah.
And PhD student also.
Yeah. Bachelor student, PhD student also.
And master.
So the wife of Dr. Mu, PhD student, and his master student, international master.
Mostly online.
People online.
Oh.
Yeah, I take that photo already.
From where?
Yeah.
From many
cái số lượng đó.
Đâu có lên được.
Được, có số đó. Có số
52. Yeah.
52 online.
From Japan, Rome come the provinces. I don't know. Maybe they may share to other places. I don't know.
So we have Apple, we have Bangladesh, and drink beer. And also I drink tea.
We will talk about maize, the Roman maize. And also another type of rice food from India. And the one from Kenya, we talk about the resistance stuff.
Are you interested about brain patients? Interesting?
Can you Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. We are learning a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
Cái gì chứ?
That's right. To work with that laptop. Huh? This one or the one?
I want this one.
You want this one?
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, but then we have to do the. Oh.
Còn hai cái nữa là thầy. 4 luôn. Dưới ta.
Now you are not in the company yet. In campus. But this is our you see here. After Corona finish, we come to stay.
After this 3 years, we have the contract. Country now it's very tough because
After 3 years, we leave again. After 3 years,
Okay, can I help you?
Yes, thank you.
So, you share already
Yeah.
the script?
Yes.
Oh, different. It's okay. Yeah, but
It's not
it's
showing
not
there.
showing there.
Con này áo vàng là con tôi thấy. Chiều tính xuống.
It's still okay here. It's okay in this computer.
Mình cần cái
You share already, huh? You share already, huh? Which one? Which one? Wait, but which?
My
Which? This one?
yeah.
also student.
you announced.
Yeah.
Keep off. Yeah. Not clean.
Not clean, but then they register.
To use this one, not this one.
This one you got? This one. It's from Rwanda.
From Kenya.
No. Kenya and Rwanda. Rwanda, a different country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue our program. So I would like to welcome the next speaker of our conference, Daniel Hegekimana from Rwanda. He will talk about the addressing aflatoxin in maize, a key to food security and safety in Rwanda. So Daniel, please.
Thank you. My name is Hategekimana Daniel. I'm from Rwanda. I'm going to talk about aflatoxin, addressing aflatoxin in maize, a key to food security and safety. This is the outline. So talking about Rwanda, it's a small country, landlocked, made with many mountains, with a fertile soil. Our population is 12.5 million by 2018, and the surface area of the country is 26,340 square kilometers. Rwanda borders the Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, and Burundi. By 2020, the GDP of Rwanda was estimated to be 8.6 USD billions. The seasons in Rwanda, we have 2 rain seasons and 2 dry seasons. Agriculture in Rwanda is the backbone of the economy, with 89% of rural households practicing small-scale farming. According to Rwandan food, maize is a staple food that ensures food security. 2020 maize production for Rwanda was 451,000 tons, but we still have a demand for 350 tons. 1/3 of the total demand is locally produced, but we still have to import two of this. The second half of the other demand has to be imported from abroad. 80% of the population of Rwanda is employed by agriculture, and agriculture contributes by 34% of the GDP of the country. Crop intensification, which aims at land use management and the provision of fertilizers, agricultural inputs, is one of the programs that Rwanda is initiating to have secure food. We are also, Rwanda has a post-harvest task force that aims to maximize the net profit of smallholder farmers and reduce food insecurity by strengthening staple crop value chains and reduce post-harvest losses. But we still have a problem now for the occurrence of aflatoxin in staple food, which is becoming a very hard problem. As we speak about aflatoxin, we have 2 types of aflatoxin. One is from the fungi, one is Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. Aflatoxin contaminate many African dietary staples, including maize, groundnuts, rice, and cassava. Conditions like dry weather near crop maturity, high moisture during harvest, inadequate drying, and storage conditions of crops, they contribute a lot to the occurrence of aflatoxin. Countries lying in latitude between 40 in the north and 40 in the south are very susceptible to aflatoxin. Why does Rwanda need to address the occurrence of aflatoxin in maize? It's because aflatoxin has a great impact on 4 pillars of food security, which is one, aflatoxin reduces the availability of food, because a big amount of maize nowadays is being thrown because of aflatoxin. Then food availability is reduced. Then if farmers, they don't produce safe food, this means they will not also have access to food. Then the food stability will be lost and food utilization will be affected. Aflatoxin has a great impact on trade. There are many regulations to limit the exposure of aflatoxin placed in parts per billion. So according to the trade, if the maize that is produced doesn't meet the limits of aflatoxin standards, which is placed in part per billion, they will not be accepted. Reduced marketable volume due to poor quality. By 2017, 90% of maize was discarded because of aflatoxin. The picture is showing a great amount of maize that is being thrown because it's contaminated. Aflatoxin has a great impact on health. There is the occurrence of aflatoxicosis, which is a very big concern to human health. It has a risk of liver cancer. It has a risk on the livestock. And because we eat meat from the livestock, the meat will also contaminate people. If the meat were fed the feed, if the cows or animals are fed some contaminated food, so we probably contaminate human health. Some experts are associated with standard, some are because
Recording in progress.
This situation we will ask director to improve.
We doesn't do, we don't do anything, but maybe connecting.
Yeah,
That's proper.
because the internet is not secure.
Yeah, I think so. Dạ nó quay vòng vòng. Dạ. Very good topic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, this one.
The man stop off.
It's okay. It's okay. Attention. This one?
Yeah, this one.
Already.
This is this one.
I'm sorry for the internet. Rwanda has some potential solutions to mitigate aflatoxin in maize. agriculture and food security. So the first step that Rwanda is implementing is good agriculture practices at planting, harvesting and handling. At planting, harvesting, and post-harvest handling. We are trying to use aflatoxin-resistant planting materials. There is the use of biocontrols such as aflasafe. There is the use of irrigation, fungicides, herbicides, insecticide for healthier plants that resist fungus. There is the adoption of moisture control measures and the conduction of research. There is timely harvesting when the moisture content of maize is by 20 to 25%, and proper sorting. There is improved drying and storage. There is proper sharing of maize and laboratory testing of animal feeds. There is sending field agents to farmers and insect control. The picture is showing the people, they are being taught how to sort maize according to their grades. And then there is the storage bins, and the picture is showing some people, including the president of Rwanda, the one in front. So they are introducing the storage facilities, one of the measures to fight aflatoxin. There is also on trade, we have to sensitize or disseminate to agro dealers because they play a great role to the circulation of maize produce. So we have to sensitize agro dealers. They cannot buy maize that is affected by aflatoxin. They don't have to buy it from farmers. And then there is the promotion of safe production from farmers. There is to educate and persuade retailers and consumers. And there is trainings, and we have to conduct awareness campaigns to the population. We also have to implement food safety control system upgrading. There are some country-specific standards that Rwanda has implemented. There is regulation to create a demand for aflatoxin-safe food. So to the country, to the population of Rwanda, they have to be aware of the food that is safe from aflatoxin. There is the good manufacturing practices and the hazard analysis and critical control point approach. There is to set the standards for animal feeds. There are also laboratory capacity and availability of rapid test kits. There is regular testing of aflatoxin levels and reference laboratories for mycotoxin studies. The picture is showing aflatoxin test tools. Rwanda is also trying to implement the improved trader compliance with national regulatory codes. So nowadays, Rwanda is using the aflatoxin maximum limits, which is 5 parts per billion for aflatoxin B1, and there is 10 parts per billion for total aflatoxin. There is inspection by agencies for food safety, then public campaigns and technical support. The flow chart is showing the maize value chain. So we start from research and development. After research and development, there is supplying seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides to the farmers. And then farmer or producers of small scale or large scale, they produce maize. Then maize has to come from farmers to the warehouse owners, which one part is private and the other part is public. And then from this, there will be some grain traders. They transport maize, or they import or export maize inside the country or outside the country, or there is a domestic grain market or inter-village or inter-sector. And then there will be some maize that will be sold to as animal feeds, or with some other processors who need maize, they might come. Or we have some grain that they mill to produce maize flour. There will be some middlemen, and there will be some retailers and wholesalers and consumers as end use. So talking about this flow chart, from each and every step, there will be some regulations from the research and development, the seeds that are given to the farmers, the produce that is produced from the farms, and the people that are involved. They have to have some regulations that they have to follow so that everyone needs to have a certificate. Whatever circulates inside or outside the country has to have a certificate of aflatoxin safety. Otherwise, there will be some punishments. So as a conclusion, a comprehensive multi-sectoral approach are required to control the complex of aflatoxin problem and improve the health, income, livelihoods of African, including Rwandan farmers and farm household and consumers. A comprehensive aflatoxin control program will include a range of complementary components, including effective policies, standards, regulations, policy relevant to information from economic, food security, and health assessment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. That's a very big problem for Rwanda in Pacific and also to the whole African continent. So it's very, very big problem now. But in terms of the strategy and the solution for that, do you have any information at the international scale about how to deal with this problem?
I think nowadays in my country, before, in 2020, they used to reject some, like Rwanda sends maize abroad as export, and then they reject. But nowadays it is improving.
I think now you are in Vietnam. You are here. It's a very good chance for you. So did you check the Vietnamese food safety control system, including like this aflatoxin? It's only Rwanda issues, maybe all over the world, some issues. So you could learn sometime from Vietnam how to control this system. Then if you can compare Rwanda's case with Vietnamese experience, sometimes
thank you.
It will be useful for you.
Yes, I've had some courses in my class talking about aflatoxin. She's my professor about food safety. They taught us HACCP and the good management practices. So I have some information.
I found Rwanda is a white maize. Vietnamese popular maize, yellow. Are there any special uniqueness?
Maybe in terms of security, because both Rwanda and Vietnam are safe. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor.
I saw your presentation slides.
Yes.
I saw one important thing, aflatoxin resistant planting material. Do you have any information about that?
According to the biotechnology, Rwanda is trying to produce, because now every farmer has to receive seeds from seed companies. So they try to make some seeds that are resistant to aflatoxin.
How this work?
I don't have too much information about it,
For
but
example, Netherlands more grows in the surface of the maize or the rice. Okay, so if you use kind of resistant aflatoxin resistant material, planting material like a seed or something like that,
yes,
it's not suitable, I think. So.
I know they are trying this and they use.
That's why I would like to hear about new information about that.
Yeah. They try to use a flash safe, like they have some biocontrols that they apply in the farm. They apply them in the farm when the seeds are grown. And because they believe that if the seeds that were used, if the seeds are contaminated, the produce will be also contaminated. So they are trying their best to every option.
I think during the planting, even though the seed is contaminated by aflatoxin, when the seed is growing, germination, growing, something like that, it's not happen with aflatoxin. But so I really don't know about kind of the mechanisms, how to make kind of the seed with the resistant planting gene or something like that. So how this work? You understand my question?
Yeah, I understand, but I don't have too much information about how they make seeds that are resistant to aflatoxin. But according to the soil conditions, they try to make seeds that are resistant. So
aflatoxin come from the outside.
it comes from outside, but some research, they saw that the seeds can contribute. The inputs, they can contribute to the aflatoxin, maybe to a small extent.
It's very interesting. If you have
maybe I can find more information. I can find some more information about it. Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. From our online audience, is there any question from the audience? Oh, okay. So thank you very much, Daniel, for your presentation. We hope that we will find some more information interesting to your research, and then we will see.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then next, I would like to invite another speaker from Japan now. Huang Huing-Trang, she studied about the food safety for Bangladesh industry, but now she's in Japan. She will talk to our conference with the topic about the biofilm formation by Listeria monocerosis isolated from fish processing plant. So, Trang, please.
I say, did you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hi, thank you, Sensei, for introducing us. Let me say screening.
Yeah. She's from Kyushu University. Yes.
Yes, Sensei. Do you see it, the screening?
Yes, yes, it's fine now. Okay, let's go.
Hi, thank you, Sensei. Good morning, my teacher and my friend. I'm so happy to see all of you. Today I will present a short report about the research in Japan with the title Biofilm Formation by Listeria monocytogenes isolated from phase processing. Let me introduce a little bit about Listeria monocytogenes. As we know, Listeria is gram-positive bacteria, and Listeria can grow at low temperatures, even at 0 degrees. And Listeria can withstand to the acidic environment and also with high source concentration. Moreover, Listeria monocytogenes cause listeriosis, a serious infection by consumption food contamination. And as compared to other pathogens, the mortality rate is significantly higher. Further, this pathogen is well known to survive for a long time under extreme conditions, and this is a major concern in food processing industry. We can see here the information of contamination Listeria in Bangladesh fish in Vietnam and also from imported country. Unfortunately, the rate of contamination is still high. We performed the experiment to evaluate the microbial safety as to Bangladesh Fish Company in Mekong Delta in 2019. And in this slide, we can see the result, the presence of pathogen from Bangladesh fish and also from processing environment. Obviously, Listeria monocytogenes is the most frequently pathogen detected in also 2 companies. And look at the company A. We couldn't find Listeria in raw fish, but it still have from the middle processing step. Hence, it is assumed that processing environment inside the company may be an important source of Listeria contamination. And one of the reasons for the problem is biofilm formation. What's a biofilm? Look at the finger on left-hand side. It describes how many stages of biofilm development. You can see we have A, B, C, D, 4 stages. First, from the lanthanide cell adhere to the surface, and then bacteria cell developed by extracellular polymer substance in the early development. After that, biofilm is thicker by multi-layer to become mature biofilm. Finally, dispersal state release the lanthanide cell to an cystic biofilm or to form a new biofilm. And how to control biofilm? They develop many methods equivalent to many styles of biofilm formation. Firstly, inhibit a stomach. Secondly, inhibit biofilm development. Thirdly, disrupt the established biofilm. And finally, is doing the biofilm dispersion. Here I want to introduce some methods that using to control biofilm now. Until now, the study also focused on stage A and stage C of biofilm development. In stage A, they can use food additive to inhibit the adherence of biofilm. Among them, monocyte pigment and also polylysine are using. Monocyte pigment is a kind of natural color, and polylysine is a kind of essential amino acids. And both the pigment and also polylysine have positive influence on inhibit of biofilm of other pathogens. In stage C, how to disrupt the established biofilm. They can use enzyme and also use some disinfectant to try to kill the biofilm cell. As we know, lysozyme is the natural enzyme and can be found in animal and also human. And how about a slightly acidic hypochlorous water, SASW? SASW is a sanitizer, and in contrast to traditional chlorine treatment, traditional chlorine treatment have some problem, including corrosion to the surface and also negative effect to human health and also environment. However, with SASW, is generated by electrolysis of hypochlorous acid and nitric chloride, and the pH value just around 6, and with high amount of hypochlorous acid, SASW have high antibacterial activity. And in Japan, SASW have been used widely. And we hope the treatment biofilm is expected to reduce a risk of cross contamination, especially inside the processing environment. And the objective of the research, firstly, we evaluate the ability to form biofilm of Listeria monocytogenes. The second one is investigate the enhancement inhibition and also antibacterial activity of monocyte pigment and polylysin for enhancement of Listeria monocytogenes. And finally, investigate the combination effect of lysozyme and SW again, 7-day Listeria monocytogen established biofilm. In this slide, this is the protocol to perform the experiment. With the box with the red color is the biofilm assay, and the box with the green color with the screening standing by the color absorbent and also viewable count. And the box in blue color is treatment established biofilm. And Listeria monocytogen we use in this study isolated from Bangladesh fish and also processing environment into company A and B, and I River mentioned. The experiment performed at 2 different kind of temperature, 10, 16, and 30. In practice, the fish factory has divided into 3 zones. First is receiving and selecting at 30 Celsius degrees, and then streaming and cooling at 16. And the packaging zone is around 10. That's the reason why we choose the 3 different temperature for this experiment. And here is the result. We can say that the temperature play a major role in biofilm formation. In general, biofilm reduction is more than 4 times at 30 Celsius degrees can compare to at 10 Celsius degrees. And after 7 days of incubation at 30 degrees, biofilm form and the biomass is around 0.9. And the lower rates of Listeria monocytogen at temperature below the optimum range can explain the significant difference between biomass produced at 3 different temperatures. And according to biofilm quantification, Listeria monocytogen has been classified as non-adherent, weakly, moderate, and strong. We can look at the orange box. You can see at 10 degrees, at 1 day, Listeria monocytogen cannot adhere to the surface. But after 7 days, 27 isolate mean 60% Listeria monocytogen were capable to form biofilm. This is a risk cross contamination because it's 10,000 degrees in the packaging zone. And the effect of monocut pigment and also polylysine to inhibit biofilm information also in this picture. Obviously, the inhibition of biofilm formation by polylysine was less than that of monocut pigment. Polylysine reduced nearly 20% adhesion of biofilm, even at higher concentration, where monocut pigment really decreased approximately 80%. Unfortunately, the antimicrobial activity of BL and of polylysine and monocut pigment to Listeria in this study was not as expectation. The lanthanide cell of Listeria just decreased around 2 and 1 log in the region of additive. And maybe the imbibilistic property of monocut pigment seem important for adhesion inhibition effect of this food additive in this study. The efficiency of lysozyme alone in combination with SASW is remove biofilm mass and biofilm cell also in two graphs. A is biomass and B is viable count. The biomass significantly decreased around 70% with only lysozyme. But for SASW alone, biomass just reduced around 50%. And the initial viable count decreased 3 and 5 log with after treatment with lysozyme and slightly acidic hydrolysed water alone. However, while combination treatment of lysozyme and SRSW show an additional effect on reducing biofilm cell of Listeria, reduce around 7.5 log, equivalent remove around 50% biofilm cell. And maybe lysozyme may damage the bacteriological membrane of the cell membrane of Listeria monocytogenes, and this means the possible for SASW to reach and kill Listeria monocytogenes to kill the bacteria. We have some conclusion. In this study, Listeria monocytogenes took 7 days to form biofilm formation equivalent to strong adherence. Listeria monocytogenes were able to form biofilm even at low temperature with prolonged incubation time. SASW is expected to provide an effective basis for the control of Listeria in food processing environment. And future study will also necessary to investigate the efficiency of SASW on dual species biofilm carry Listeria and other bacteria, because in real practice and in nature, a biofilm not only formed by single species, but also from mixed species. Hi, thank you for your kind attention. Please feel to ask me if you have any question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken. So we can see that we have another problem of food safety in terms of Angus production in Vietnam, because Vietnam now the second, or even the first one who export Angus to the world market. Before we going to have some question from the audience, I would like to invite Professor Ngọc to say something more about this study, because that's your group study. Yeah? And the topic is very interesting.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Bình. Hello, Trang. How are you?
Hi, Sensei. Thank you. I'm fine. Still fine now.
Yeah, thank you very much for your very beautiful presentation, I can say. Yeah, and I think your study is very useful for us, for Vietnamese industry, especially for the fishery factories. Yeah. So based on your presentation, you work with Listeria monocytogenes.
Right.
That's other pathogen. And all of factory, they are scared with that. They are afraid with that bacteria. And you try to research on that because this bacteria can form biofilm, and it is very difficult to remove them.
Right.
If they make biofilm already in the factory.
Right.
So you work with the biofilm in the lab scale.
Right.
And do you think how to apply in the future from your study into factory? Or it means that how to validation. I mean, how to apply your research from the lab scale to practice.
Hi, Sensei. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi.
Can you share something about this?
Hi, Sensei. This is the best question. Actually, the result is good, but just for pilot scale. And in practice, we have a lot of problem. Not because in practice, this is mixed biofilm species, not single.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, actually now I perform the experiment on mixed species about Listeria and E. coli, and the result is good. So I also discussed with Miyamoto Sensei about the potential to apply in the factory scale. And we know in factory scale now they also use chlorine, traditional chlorine treatment. This means in the powder. And the problem is the high pH value, so it's corrosion. However, with this slightly acidic hydrolorous water, we have many advantages. So and easy to manage. So we hope when the COVID-19 control well, maybe I can come back to Vietnam and apply the treatment of slightly hydrolorous water in the factory scale.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, very good answer.
Okay, thank you. Any other question from the audience? Okay. There's no other question, so thank you very much, Trang, for your information. Also, we're happy to hear you after a long time disconnection.
Yes, Sensei. After a long time, and I wish the conference successful and also good health to everyone. And thank you, Sensei. Thank you, everyone.
Stay safe and good health, and say hello to our investor over there. Thank you and see you soon.
Hi, thank you, Sensei.
Then next, we would like to invite another speaker from this room. Rosalina Dika from India. She will talk about the processing of a kind of rice product popular in India, but also maybe also popular in Vietnam. But yeah, we have different dishes on that. So Rosalina, please.
Yes, this one.
Sir, I gave you another one. This is the old one.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, another one.
Do you have USB? The file with you.
Okay.
Ngữ danh ngữ
kỳ báo cáo một lần rồi.
nhưng mà cái đường này nó phải sao
chưa ai báo cáo hoặc là thực tế là nó cũng không có căng thẳng như là lịch trình này. Nó cũng cái đó à. Before you online study.
I couldn't slow down. It's weird.
Yeah.
hai cái đó còn hai cái này
Lúc giờ
Thầy ơi, cái máy thì đứng rồi. Không thoát file ra được luôn.
được không?
Luôn con tóc thì lên.
Now we can exit. Now we from here. So now we couldn't do anything. Các em cắt nghe nha.
Vô lại mà thân. Phải có thông báo gì chứ.
Hả? Đâu có thầy đó nói được mà.
Okay, so we sorry that we have another technical problem here. Allow us a few minutes to fix the problem.
Ở đó có file rồi.
Yeah.
Đó có file rồi. Mình xài USB mà, nhưng mà sợ cái bài cuối cùng thôi. Giờ không làm gì được hết á. Cứ nhắc luôn à. Vô sinh chưa?
Chưa làm.
Ăn vô không được. Thôi để mở cái này lên chắc ăn. Còn có 2 người nữa cái. Bản lĩnh thầy chú nhiều thứ đó cái gì hay là internet hay là gì hay cái y bản lĩnh vậy which one? Five. Yeah. This one? Yeah. Yes, good. Xong hết rồi nè thầy, làm sao ở đây được? Em nghĩ cái mạng internet ở đây yếu. Thấy cái file nặng đó. Share.
You're not number one. No, you're not number one.
Hả? Thế nào? Đợi đi. Sao không share được? Mà em share đây bình thường, lần hai rồi đó. Sao không luôn? Đang nhạc từ từ. Giờ để bình tĩnh rồi. Để em lưu cái file này về. Em sử dụng máy của thầy. Em cứ chép ở đây trước. Đúng. Từ từ. Đưa cái cảm giác ra cho chỗ của thầy.
Bài học rất sâu sắc.
Học hoài không hết.
Có.
Anh mới. Cái tên này đó. Giờ không có share nữa. Giờ tôi không muốn share nữa thì sao? Tôi được share. Nó làm hay y chang, không phải mảng thành cũng y chang vậy mà nó không có lên, hiểu không? Nó nghĩ nó hỏi vậy đó. Máy mình thì bình thường. Internet connection network. Mình khác bao giờ cái bộ im hơn này, bao giờ thầy còn đúng.
Cái này là mình nói bằng cách vô đầu cái đầu thôi, rồi tính chứ cái đầu một kia.
tính là tính em xuống lầu 1 Hồng Ngọc 2 internet không có connect được, không có kết nối được. Rồi đã cảm ơn nhé.
Internet.
Cái lượng nhân phát cái lượng nó không phải vì thuốc nên em nghĩ thôi
Yes. Okay, now we'll come back to the presentation of Roslina from India. So please.
Thank you, sir. I'm Roslina Dekar from India. Today I'm going to present on the topic processing of flattened rice, flaked rice or poha, and poha dishes. I chose this topic on flaked rice because flaked rice is one of the favorite and healthy breakfasts in India. So that's why I wanted to share more information about it. So India is the world's largest producer of milk, pulses, jute, and second largest producer of rice, wheat, sugarcane, groundnut, vegetables, fruit, and cotton. It is also one of the leading producer of spices, fish, poultry, livestock, and plantation crops. Rice, which is a source of nourishment for more than half of the world's population. According to the USDA, approximately 500 million tons of milled rice were produced globally in the year of 2019 to 2020. With China, the top producer of rice, 146.7 million metric tons, and India, the second largest producer of rice, 118.9 million metric tons of milled rice in the same year. India's rice production estimated 102.36 million tons in the Kharif season in the year 2020-2021, according to government data. Here in the picture, you can see that the major crop are rice, wheat, sorghum, millet, and some are forest and scrub and sparse vegetation. In this picture, the first picture, we can see that rice production in 1,000 tons from the year 1960 to 2012, with China and India among the largest producer, and then Indonesia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Myanmar, Pakistan, and Cambodia. And in the second picture, you can see that in the year 2019 and 2020, China produced 146.73 million tons. And then India, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Thailand, Burma, Philippines, Japan, and Brazil. This slide shows production of rice in India with quantity in tons from 1961 to 2016. increasing rapidly. And here is and in this picture, you can see the contribution of different states of India in India's rice production. With West Bengal, the largest producer of rice, and then Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Assam, Karnataka, and other states, it's 17.8%. With such high production of rice in India, India has also large varieties of rice, that is basmati, white, brown, red, jasmine, parboiled, and sticky rice. In the financial year 2019, rice production across the northeastern state of Assam, which is my state in India, amounted to over 5 million metric tons. It's not much, it's just 24% of the India's rice production. And you can see these are the districts of Assam, which produces rice: Lakhimpur, Jorhat, Sibsagar, Dibrugarh, Golaghat, Karbi Anglong, Nagaon, and Morigao. Major rice flakes producing states in India are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, and Orissa. Now flaked rice. Flaked rice or flattened rice, which is also known as poha, chura, avalaki, atakulu, in different regions of India. White and brown rice both are used to make flake rice. It is parboiled before flattening to consume with very little or no cooking. So these flakes swell when added to hot or cold liquid. So it can be consumed with any type of liquid. It is one of the famous, it is one of the popular breakfast cereal, either eaten with fried, either fried with spices and chilies or mixed with milk or curd. Poha has a high content of protein, fat, and carbohydrate, and it can also be consumed by people suffering from diabetes and high blood pressure. The flake rice that is manufactured in West is very different from the flake rice that is traditionally produced in India. In India, it's mostly a home scale or cottage scale industry. In the old traditional process, flaking was done by pounding the paddy in an wooden mortar and pestle. But now, of course, since due to the increased demand of the flake rice, it has gone to the industries, but it is still home scale or cottage scale industry. Its absorption capacity, water absorption capacity is very high, as flake rice is dry heated parboiled rice, and surface area is enhanced, and starch damage occurs during flaking. So flake rice should be stored in dry place in an airtight container. It is cooked in a variety of ways in India. For example, soaked in water and eaten with warm milk or curd. We can make varieties of sweets and savories with or without pre-soaking, seasoning or sweetening, or adding coconut scrapings or cooking or frying. It can be also pulped by tossing or heating in oil and further sweetened or seasoned. We also get ready-to-eat meal of poha, of flattened rice, which is also known as poha. Another, a more or less similar product we can get in Philippines, which is known as pinipig. It is made from waxy rice. Another product in Malaysia is emping. In Vietnam, one of the traditional dish, which is made from rice flake, is known as ban com and ban wat ko. I'm so sorry for the pronunciation. It's mostly common. And in Thailand and Laos, drunken noodles or pat kimao is a Chinese-inspired dish, which is also prepared from rice flakes. A no-cook flaked rice, we can just wash with running water and then add curd, sugar, salt, or jaggery, which is a breakfast meal, and it's very easy to digest, and it keeps a person full for longer duration. So farmers in my region, most of the time their breakfast is this, because the whole day they worked in the field. So it is one of the very good breakfast meal. It is also eaten with banana in some regions, which makes it a wholesome breakfast food. This dish is rich in fiber, low in calories, recovers upset stomach, and rich in iron. So now we'll discuss about the processing of flaked rice At first, the paddy is cleaned and soaked in cold water for 24 hours to 30 hours, and then the water is drained. It is conditioned for 2 to 3 hours, and then roasting at 155 degrees Celsius to 165 degrees Celsius. And then tempering is done for 5 to 10 minutes. Flaking unit is done. You know, there are two types of flake. For this, there are two types, thick flaked rice and thin flaked rice. For thick flaked rice, flaking is done for 60 to 70 seconds. And for thin flaked rice, it is done for 40 to 45 seconds. And then you get the sieving, where they differentiate, they separate the thick flaked rice and the broken rice and the broken parts. And then you get the flaked rice, and then it is further flaked to get the thin flaked rice. So soaking and conditioning. Soaking is mostly done in a metal drum or cement tank, after which the water is drained, but it is replaced with vertical metallic tanks. The paddy is fed through beans from the top, and then it is conditioned within the soaking tank. The moisture content of the soaked paddy is 25 to 33%, depending on the climatic condition and method of soaking and conditioning. Next is roasting. It is done with or without sand. The partial gelatinization of soaked paddy is achieved from roasting for 10 to 60 seconds. And then is sieving and conditioning. The roasted paddy is then fed to the flakers. In medium or large scale systems, it is moistened and conditioned to obtain different types of flakes, such as thick, medium, thin, and very thin. Then flaking. Edge runners are batch type flaking machines. The paddy is pressed in between the body of the edge runner and flaking roller. In some places, flaked rice is again pressed and flattened in roller flakes to reduce the thickness of the flaked rice. Roller flakes consist of two cylindrical rollers. The roasted paddy is shelled and then fed in between the roller, in which it is pressed and flattened. And then sieving and packing. The flaked rice is sieved in a sieve shaker in order to separate different types of materials. The thick flaked rice requires drying, shade drying. It is then directly packed into polythene bags. These are the chemical and physical properties of flaked rice. The chemical properties: moisture content is mostly 9.97, plus minus 0.13, total ash 1.60, plus minus 0.2, fat 3.09, plus minus 0.14, protein 6.06, plus minus 0.17, crude fiber 1.54, plus minus 0.05, starch 79.22, plus minus 0.89, and amylose 19.66, plus minus 0.33, and raisin starch is 1.62, plus minus 0.09. Here is the physical properties of flake rice with length, breadth, thickness, GMD, SA, RA, and sphericity. Now, some of the benefits of flaked rice are: rice poha is considered very healthy, as it is very easy and light in terms of cooking, and it's easily digested, and it is slightly less processed. It is a wholesome meal with good source of carbohydrates, iron, of antioxidants, essential vitamins, rich in fiber. It is gluten-free. It helps in the control of blood sugar levels, good source of healthy carbohydrates, and low in calories. These are the nutritional aspects, like for flattened rice, for 1 cup of raw poha, the energy is 333 kilocalorie, vitamin C is 0 milligram, dietary fiber is 6.7 gram, vitamin B3 is 3.6 milligram, sodium is 67 milligram, potassium is 192 milligram, iron is 1.2 milligram, protein is 6.67 milligram, and calcium 0 milligram. With here, again, calories in 1 cup of poha will be 98 calories, with carbohydrates 23 gram, proteins 1.8 gram, fat 0.3 gram, and saturated fat 0.1 gram. Now, these are some of the types of rice flakes that is available in India: Singdana rice flakes, thin rice flakes, dry rice flakes, flattened rice flakes, roasted rice flakes, beaten rice flakes, nylon rice flakes, dagdi rice flakes, thick rice flakes, and white rice flakes. This is the scanning electron micrographs of roasted flaked rice. This is the raw rice, roasted rice. You can see the structure, flaked rice and roasted flaked rice. And these are the different types of flaked rice obtained from different varieties of paddy rice, obtained from different varieties of rice. Now, lastly, I want to show you the poha dishes we can make in India. There are so many, but I just chose some to give an idea about the different types of dishes. So here it is corn poha, poha dhokla. This is mixed sprouts poha, poha cutlet, poha dosa, and poha yellow moong dal, poha nachni hanvo, poha jara poha chura, and the last one is poha with curd and jaggery, which is very famous in our region, and it is also considered one of the. We have religious beliefs of it. We give it to the god, and it has traditional and religious beliefs. Thank you.
Thank you very much for a very interesting topic. It's very traditional, but we learned something about your introduction. So I have some question for you. How about the food safety issue linked to that kind of product in your country?
So it is not yet a large-scale industry. It is mostly like home-scale industry. So I don't think the companies are yet to. I don't think it has so many food safety issues yet. Yeah, because it's still not large-scale industries. It is only manufactured in some regions.
Okay. And then how about the market, international market for these kinds of products?
No, it is no, sir. It is not exported. Yeah, it is not exported much. I think they should export because the health benefits is so good compared to the raw rice. So I think they should think about it. Yeah.
So how about your objective of your study?
Objective? Sir, I just wanted to give a brief description about the flaked rice and about its importance and processing.
Do your thesis?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just an introduction about products from rice. Because we're talking about rice production in general.
Why you think your product, this product, is very healthy, and I think very interesting product. How?
Yes, sir. Because it is like it is low in calories. Carbohydrates are also good. Like it has good carbohydrates, and saturated fats also it's low. So I think it's very good product.
Is it? Yes, sure.
Huh? For women. Okay.
I think look at your processing line. Nothing changed with carbohydrate. So how is an important case for your products? This is not carbohydrate.
Introduction about
There's also in some value about resistant starch linked to the talk of. Can you mention something whether it's high or low compared to your study?
Yeah, I can say some importance of this product in terms of health. Like you can see from the scanning electron micrograph that she showed, the scanning electron micrograph there. So for the raw rice, you can see the particles are quite separate, but for the flaked rice, they are compact. So that means the digestibility of this product is very low, and it initiates that resistance starch is very high. So it is a very good type of food for consumption, as it prevents the rise of blood sugar, and also it enables you to produce short-chain fatty acids that prevents colon cancer.
This is kind of applying engineering to control the GI of the blood.
Yeah.
That's another way to control the GI.
Do you measure kind of a resistance starch during dropping something?
During
roasted
flakes.
Yeah. Did you measure? You measure the resistance starch during dropping?
So actually, in my study, I don't do rice, but since I just saw the scanning electron micrograph and how it appears, that's when I could conclude how the resistance starch content is. But for my case, I just, whatever product I make, I boil it, then I measure resistance starch after boiling. I don't do.
Increasing or decreasing?
In some products, it increases. In some products, it decreases. Okay. There are so many factors affecting the increase and the decrease. Yeah.
In rice, I think it decreases.
Yeah, it decreases.
It's not increasing. Yeah. So it's a kind of nutrition and functional food, I think, because during your processing line, you have kind of a sortings during 40 hours to 30 hours. During that time, the short time of germinations, many functional compounds start, like GABA.
The topic of Rosa.
Okay. So you have matter about that. So that's why I asked you about what is your objective.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Very interesting topic linked to rice production. Okay, now we go to the final talk of the conference today about resistant starch, presented by Beverly. She coming from Kenya. She is a master student of our program.
Chính luôn đấy.
Cái là nằm ở đó. Đây nè.
Nói mình lên được. Nói mình lên được.
Cái này.
Đâu mà đất tốt vậy.
There's a lot of things to do with rice.
Yes.
Ủa thầy bỏ file đâu thầy ơi?
Cái slide thầy để đâu hết này? Conference online.
Rồi đó, this one.
Này.
Yeah. Thành con gì?
Cho nó kép để cho nó thu mà.
Rồi vô đây, đi chọn có cái gì? Em thấy là nó ở đây có là trên kia kìa.
Là chia sẻ.
Chia sẻ hả?
Có mọi một hai người nhưng mà không có vấn đề gì lớn.
Đúng là có tính đây có khác này. Hãy cho em nghiêm túc đây. Rất nhiều rồi.
Nói rồi.
Good morning, my professors. Good morning, my fellow students. So today I'm going to talk about the positive impact of resistant starch on human health. The reason why I chose this topic is because my current master's thesis is mainly focused on resistant starch content of some starchy food sources, and we are making some products and also analyzing the resistant starch content. So my outline will be the literature review. Then I'll give you the introduction about starch and resistant starch. Then I will show you some food sources high in resistant starch. Then I will mention the health benefits of resistant starch and some of the modifications carried out to increase resistant starch content in food. So in literature, World Health Organization reports that 1 out of 4 deaths in adult people is caused by non-communicable diseases. So in this case, growing evidence shows that many of the non-communicable diseases could be moderated by dietary changes, and high amount of starchy foods consumed are mostly digestible starch, therefore contributing to chronic diseases in many people. Due to this, many researchers are focused on resistant starch, which is a less digestible starch, and because it resists digestion, in the small intestine, English et al. In 1982 defined resistant starch as a portion of starch that resists digestion in small intestines, and therefore it moves to the large intestines where fermentation can take place. And also studies conducted on human fed diets with rich and resistant starch reveal that changes in abundance of major groups of bacteria due to the presence of short-chain fatty acid, especially butyric acid. And meta-analysis on 13 studies done between 2004 and 2018 showed that there is decrease in blood glucose after resistant starch consumption. Then another meta-analysis on 13 studies done until 2017 showed that total cholesterol level and low-density lipoprotein decreased after consumption of resistant starch. So I'm going to show you a brief summary, even though this data is a little bit outdated, but this is what we have in the internet, the causes of death in Kenya. And as you can see, cardiovascular disease is one of the highest causes. Then we have cancer. Then we have other non-communicable diseases. We have respiratory disease, diabetes, and other conditions. As you can see, one of the major causes of death is non-communicable disease. If we combine cardiovascular, cancer, and other NCDs, and diabetes, we can say that non-communicable disease is a very large contributor of death in Kenya. So I'm going to start to explain now about my topic. So I'm going to introduce you on the starch. As we all know, starch is a complex carbohydrate consisting of numerous glucose units joined together by glycosidic bonds. It is white, tasteless, and odorless powder with a chemical formula, as you can see. It's a polysaccharide that is produced by most green plants for energy storage. They contain 2 principal polysaccharides, amylose and amylopectin. We have the amylose and amylopectin. Amylose is a linear glucose molecule linked with alpha-1,4 glycosidic bonds, mostly about 20-30% in starch. Then we have amylopectin, which is branched-chain glucose molecules linked with alpha-1,4 glycosidic bonds and alpha-1,6 glycosidic bonds. And it's mostly about 70 to 80% in starch. Then we can categorize and classify starch according to different cases. In this case, I'm going to categorize it according to digestibility. So according to digestibility, we have rapidly digestible starch. This is a fraction that digests within 20 minutes after consumption. It increases the glucose concentration of blood within that short period of time, and it's mostly found in white rice, white pasta, white bread, and energy bars. Then the second one is slowly digestible starch. This is a portion that can be digested between 20 to 120 minutes. Even though this is a slow digestion, but this is a complete digestion. I'm explaining this because the next stage, we are going to see another digestion that does not occur in the small intestine. So it takes a longer time to break down by digestive enzymes compared to rapidly digestible starch. This is because of semi-crystalline structure, and therefore they are less accessible to action of enzymes. Mostly found in al dente pastas, parboiled rice, and pearl barley. So some of the slowly digestible starch are naturally found in uncooked wheat, rice, barley, rye, and corn. And if you expose these slowly digestible starch to heat, pressure, and moisture, you can convert it to rapidly digestible starch through gelatinization. Then the last one is resistant starch. This is the main topic. So this is a portion of the starch that resists digestion in the small intestines of healthy people and undergoes fermentation in the colon. So fermentation occurs because of presence of microflora with short-chain fatty acid as one of the major end products. Butyrate is one of the major short-chain fatty acid, which plays a key role in promoting normal phenotype in the colonic epithelium. Other acids include propionate and acetate acids. Resistant starch can be categorized into 5 groups. We have type 1, which is physically inaccessible, mostly found in whole and partially grounded cereal grains. Type 2, we have native and raw starch granules, which are mostly found in raw potatoes, green bananas. Type 3 is a retrograded starch, which are found in cooked and cold starchy foods. Then type 4, we have reduced digestibility through chemical modification, mostly in cross-linked starch and octinal succinate starch. Then type 5, we have which are mostly made from amylose lipid complexes, and these are mostly in high amylose foods. So these are some of the food sources high in resistant starch. In my master's thesis now, I'm working with black beans, red kidney beans, potato starch, yellow sweet potatoes, purple sweet potatoes, green bananas, mung bean, and cornstarch. I just added oats and peeled banana because they're also one of the good sources of resistant starch. And the health benefits of resistant starch in summary: when we consume food high in resistant starch, then we produce short-chain fatty acids. It enhances prevention of colon cancer, and it also enables us to produce satiety hormones. These are peptide YY and glucose-like peptide 1. So if you consume it, it will enable you to control, you'll not feel hungry, so you will not consume more food. Therefore, you can manage your weight, you can control your obesity, and you can also control your blood sugar in that case. So the specific health benefits, the first one is prevention of colon cancer. This is mainly achieved because of the short-chain fatty acid, butyrate, acetate, and propionate. Then butyrate is the main energy substrate of the large intestinal epithelial cells, and it inhibits the malignant transformation of such cells. It increases the blood flow and lowers the luminal pH. So the low pH from the short-chain fatty acids, it prevents against colorectal cancer by inhibiting transformation, the low pH found in short-chain fatty acids prevents against colorectal cancer by inhibiting transformation of primary to secondary bile acids. These secondary bile acids are the cytotoxic colonic cells that are thought to be tumor promoters. These are the ones causing the cancer in the colon. So by having low pH, the primary bile acids cannot be converted to secondary, therefore causing the tumors. Then the low pH also prevents pathogenic bacteria, and it also helps in increasing fecal excretion, and the fecal concentration of short-chain fatty acids are reported in many studies supplemented with resistant starch. The other advantage is hypoglycemic effects after consuming resistant starch. So resistant starch in foods, resistant starch in food resists digestion in the small intestine, leading to a sustained and low levels of glucose release in the blood. As I had explained earlier, when you take resistant starch food, so the food is not going to be converted into glucose, which are going to be absorbed directly to your blood very easily. Therefore, the longer time it takes, your body can be able to maintain a low level of blood sugar. Then resistant starch consumption is associated with lower mass of adipose tissue because now it takes a longer time for the food to be converted to glucose. Therefore, it cannot be stored as glycogen and later fat very easily. It takes a very long time for your body to use it. Then another one, the short-chain fatty acid, acetate, and propionate produced in the colonic fermentation by colonic fermentation of colonic bacteria has been associated with insulin sensitivity effect of resistant starch. Then RS enables us to control blood glucose, therefore we can manage type 2 diabetes. The other health advantage is satiety and weight loss. When we consume food high in resistant starch, we feel more full for a longer time, and it enables us to lose weight very easily, because when you feel full, you don't feel like eating, and when you don't eat, so your blood sugar is going to be stable, and therefore you are going to manage your weight very easily. This is the increased release of gut satiety peptides such as cholecystokinin, glucagon-like peptide, and peptide YY, which are secreted after a meal. Then also it increases fat breakdown due to low glucose in blood. Then low fat storage in adipocytes. Then therefore you can manage obesity in this case. The other advantage is prebiotic agents. Resistant starch is a prebiotic agent. It provides foods for the probiotic microorganisms. These are the good microorganisms in your large intestines, which include lactobacilli, bifidobacteria, and streptococci. And it also decreases the bad bacteria like enterobacteria population, and also alter microbial enzyme metabolism in colon. Another advantage, it enhances absorption of minerals such as calcium and iron in the human fed high in resistant starch. This is because maybe in the small intestines, because the ions, we have phenotypes, we have phytic compounds which prevent the minerals from being absorbed, but after fermentation, the minerals are readily available, therefore the absorption is very easy. The other advantage is increased lipid breakdown. So after eating diets high in resistant starch, it increases the mobilization and the use of fat storage as a direct result in reduction of insulin secretion. It also reduces the activities of lipogenic enzymes such as fatty acid synthesis and rate-limiting enzymes. So because we now know that starch is very important in our health, and we know resistant starch is not easily found in most of the food. So there are some methods which we can use to modify so that we increase the content of resistant starch in the food that we consume. We have enzymatic methods, chemical methods, and physical methods. So for the physical treatment, we have hydrothermal treatment, where we treat the starchy food at between 100 and 150 degrees Celsius for less than 24 hours with a moisture content of less than 35%. So in this case, the mechanism is it allows the amylose and the amylopectin fraction to assume a rubbery state, interacts to form a double helixes, then increases the overall stability of the granule to disruption, resulting in increased resistance starch. Then we have the second one is autoclaving and retrogradation. So we gelatinize starch at more than 100 degrees Celsius while under pressure. Then the starch becomes fully disrupted. Then upon cooling, the amylose chain associated to form hydrogen bond stabilized double helixes. These are formed resistant starch type 3 crystallites. Then we have extrusion. It increases resistant starch via high shear condition causing depolymerization of the starch molecules, thus producing straight chains that are more likely to retrograde to resistant starch 3 also. Then we have enzymatic treatments. So in this case, I'm going to talk about 3 enzymes. So we have glulanase and isoamylase, which are exclusively act on the alpha-1,6 glycosidic bonds, as I had shown you in the amylose and amylopectin. So we have alpha-1,6 glycosidic bonds. So this enzyme acts on that bond, therefore, which in turn it increases the apparent amylose content while maintaining a constant total starch level. Beta amylase is used to modify resistant starch of wheat and corn starches. The other approach is lipid complexation, where the creation of amylolipid complexes, which will help to hinder granular swelling as well as develop further entanglement between starch polymers. Together, these factors aid in the formation of resistant starch by restricting ability of digestive enzymes break down starch. Another method is chemical. Apart from physical enzymatic, we have also chemical methods. So in the chemical methods, we have acetylation, this addition of acetyl. The acetyl groups esterified to starch using free hydroxyl groups. The added acetyl groups create steric forces, which make the digestive enzymes unable to properly bind to the starch, preventing full hydrolysis and increased content of resistant starch. Then we have hydroxypropylation. The propylene oxide is used for hydroxypropylation and is esterified to free hydroxyl groups. This creates bulky substituted groups of the starch, which can prevent the carbohydrate digestion enzymes from interacting with the starch, thus conferring resistance to digestion. And then finally, for the chemical methods, we have succinic anhydride and octenyl succinic anhydride. So for this case, succinic anhydride complex with octene group is produced, and it gets a significant hydrophobic portion. The OSA reacts with starch, and the anhydride ring of the OSA breaks and forms an ester with starch hydroxyl group, and the remaining carboxylic acid group from the severed anhydride can esterify to a different starch molecule, creating cross-linked starch. So in conclusion, the reason why I have interest so much in resistant starch is because of the high rise of non-communicable disease. So non-communicable disease can be a major contributor of premature deaths. Addressing it will improve the life expectancy, the economic and social well-being of population. Investigation on the impact of resistant starch in human health is an emerging topic of interest to many researchers. This has been prompted by the benefits confirmed and suspected to the result from resistant starch consumption. So both human and animal studies reveal the health benefits of resistant starch. However, we need more studies on human subjects so that we can ascertain these benefits of resistant starch, because sometimes we can say these are the benefits, but not so much evidence is there to say this is true. So thank you. This is the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much for your very interesting and excellent presentation with a lot of new information to the student, even to us. I have some question linked to your study here.
Yes.
So in your plan to do the study, do you have to organize kinds of in vivo tests? No?
So far, so good. We are going to do only in vitro because for the in vivo, I have not yet talked to the subjects and it's not viable. I have a very limited time and my objectives were so many last time. So I need to finish those ones first. In case I get time, I will discuss that with my professor again and see what will happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then my second question, not real question, but comments, but that I just read some news from the publication. So the scientists said that there's a good link between the good and the health of our brain. So if you have a good taking care of your gut here, it means you also make something to our brain, and it makes your brain become better. That's a good linkage between the two.
Check that and
that's very interesting finding from the Journal of Food Science. Some publication mentioned about that. Okay. We would like to welcome other questions from the audience. Yes.
I would like to ask you about your study area. Yes. How about your study in thesis, master thesis area?
You want to know what
you want to modify kind of resistant starch, something like that, right? But how about the material? What is your material? Banana, rice?
That's already in the presentation. Yeah.
Many.
Yeah.
Many kinds.
The objective in my thesis, maybe I should just mention the objectives first. So my objective first is to measure the resistant starch in each specific food material, like black bean, red bean, potatoes. So I already measured the resistant starch content. Then after that, I formulate a noodle product and pasta products. Then after that, we measure the content of resistant starch in different formulations. So for our case, we take like we take 10% of black bean, then we increase maybe to 20%, then the next 30%, 40%. Then we compare the effect of increasing the content of these starchy food sources, the resistant starch food sources in the pasta products, if it reflects on the results of resistant starch, if it increases. Like if we increase beans, will it increase the content of resistant starch or not in our product? Then after that, I'm going to measure the glycemic index through the in vitro.
In vitro, you use many kind of materials.
Yes, we use this.
What is the factor you make the resistant starch? For example, temperature or enzymes, or what is it?
Temperature.
Temperature.
Yeah, we are using temperature.
So I think there are a relationship between the resistant starch and slowly digestible starch.
Yeah.
As well as rapid digestible starch. So if you just focus to the resistant starch, you don't know why. Is it consistent between the material to material, temperature to temperature, how the affect to the resistant starch? You should combine with rapid and slowly digestible starch. It's better for your study. I think so.
Yeah.
Just resistant starch, no,
we are doing resistant starch, then we are also doing the digestible starch, so that includes the rapidly digestible and the slowly digestible. So we have both sides. I just mainly focused on resistant starch, but in my master's thesis, I have to present also on the digestible starch. So rapidly and slowly digestible starch are also there.
Yeah, I think if you have time, it's very good if you focus to the correlation.
Yes.
Between the raw material nutritional ingredients to the resistant starch and rapid digestible starch. Yeah, it will give you many questions. And just another comment only. I'm very interested with your presentations. You have many information, but very sorry for you don't have reference. Yeah. For example, you said that yes, no reference. That's not good. and you said that, for example, you use extruder. You said that extruder will increase the resistance starch. I don't think so. So I would like to see what is the reference. Something like that. Very important with the scientists. No?
Okay, I will put them.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's my case, That's what is a reference.
Okay.
See what that.
Okay. Thank you very much. We still have some questions.
Your topic is a positive impact of the resistant starch. Are there any negative impacts on health?
Yes, resistant starch has negative impacts. Like when you consume so much resistant starch, it might bring to flatulence and borborygemi. That is like production of gas in your stomach, so there's rumbling in your stomach. It's a bit uncomfortable, but the negative effects outweigh, the positive effects outweighs the negative effects. So we just
impact.
Yeah.
Any other question? No? Okay, then thank you very much. And we close our session this morning. Thank you very much. So in total, we have 7 presentations. And I don't know if we here, the people here or on the online present, you have some final comments or discussion on our session, our program. So please. Any suggestion, only comment, welcome. Okay, if not, then I would like to close our program this morning. And in name of the organizer of the conference, I would like to say thank you for all of you for your contribution, for your presence, for your comment, question, and other, etc. We will finalize our material and we will send that to you at your request. And also we will organize kinds of certification for your attending our conference. And we hope we will continue to see you in the near future, whether online or offline, in terms of our scientific activity. So thank you and bye-bye. Thank you for present with our program for the whole session.
Recording stopped.